feel so strong. Throw your hands in the air, lift your head up high. You know you've got to sing along. Don't you know?
Made it out of disbelief. Candles flying up, no fear, just greed. I done waited weeks on weeks. Feel the bull run coming, bears dodge the stream. Try to get them on my team. Moon boys too busy buying XRP. No face, no KYC. VPN locked in, out of state IP. Patreon made something out of nothing. Ain't got a MetaMask, need to go and quit stunting. See phrase, only code to the fortune. Better play a card, tell them Reddit boys chumping. Black swan, red swan, it's nothing. Set a limit, orders getting out before the flood hit. Retail got me knowing when the fun is. Made a bank run just to get my bags pumping. Real life, not talking dumb money. I bet the game stop when the market starts pumping. I've been here since the rain, since flooding. FOMO kicking in, heard it happens like it's something. Low caps got me living like Archie. Fly to Dubai, first class, off flights please. 5x, 10x, unlikely. 100 on my mind, no telling where it might lead. Crypto, it's been on the rise. Couple million off of me, no it's not that time. Crazy how they still deny. Last time I seen this was 2009. Oh well, it caught you by surprise. Getting out before they sell, all a part of the ride. With my advice, you'll do just fine. Do your own research and a pay when I ride.
Welcome back to another live stream on the channel. The crypto market continues to head upwards, and certain altcoins in particular are absolutely exploding right now. The main one that would come to mind would be SUI. I mean, this chart, every time I check it, it's up more and more. It's now up 53% in the last 7 days. It's sat at $3.29 per coin. And as you guys know, the VIP group, we're stacking SUI around the 70-cent region. So we're already up in really nice profits right now. But even if you were stacking it during this dump down here around $1.90, $2, you're seeing some really nice profits currently as well. In today's live stream, we're going to be going over the very best buys in the market that could potentially make you rich in the next 2 months. Okay, I think there's a ton of mid-cap opportunities available with quality coins. You don't need to go too risky. You don't need to go into pure and utter speculation. You can buy some fairly decent coins. You know, coins that would come to mind would be the likes of Say, Aerodrome. We talked about them yesterday. There's some fairly decent coins on discounts right now, which you can buy and potentially make 5, 10, 15, 20x's in the next few months if the market continues this way, right? So SUI right now just continues to explode. I've been vindicated on SUI many times already. I got laughed at for buying it at 70 cents. People told me it was a VC-backed scam and it wasn't going to pump and all of this. Look at it now, right? Continuing to pump, starting its next leg up. And the last time SUI made this type of move, it absolutely exploded, okay? It did like a 10 to 11x the last time SUI made this type of move. If you go on the weekly and you look at the RSIs, the last time they flipped like this, SUI just went on a mad run. The last time this happened, it went up, 10x, 10, 11x. The same thing's happening again here where the RSIs are flipping and it's starting to really pump. So if the same thing happens again, you are going to be in some great profits in a few months' time. I'm not saying it'll do another 10x from here. I mean, that's quite a lot. But even if it just went and did another 5x, another 6x, incredible gains are going to be made for the VIPs. Speaking about the VIP, the sale will be going in 6 days' time. The code SAVE20 will be completely gone in 6 days' time. So if you do want to get a special discount to get into the best group in crypto that's active 24/7, use the code SAVE20 at checkout. And if you are a VIP member listening right now, I'll be doing a voice chat call again after the stream. So about an hour after the stream, we'll be doing a voice chat, talking about the markets, going into a lot more depth. If you're interested in that, then make sure to be there around an hour after the stream ends. These are my current coins right now in terms of preference. SUI, Kaspa, Tau. Ondo, Say, Render. And then we've got some honorable mentions. These are more like the mid caps. These are ones you maybe want to get a couple percent of your portfolio in, in each maybe, but you don't want to go overboard, right? Coins like Sui, Kaspa, Tau, Ondo, you can put 5, 15, 20% in those types of coins maybe. But coins like Aerodrome, Beam, Peak, you only want to be dropping a couple percent in those because they are a bit riskier, but they can still do some great returns. So yeah, we're going to go over a couple charts and then I'll get into the Q&A. I want to answer as many questions as possible in today's live stream. So get your questions in. Smash the likes on the stream as well. It's great to see some green in the market. It just gives you that extra edge, hypes you up a bit. And, we all love it. It was quite funny because on the call yesterday, everyone was high spirits, laughing and joking. It's like it just cures seasonal depression, when the market pumps. But anyway, we've got a few things to look at. So Sui obviously exploding. I spoke about that. Ethereum is making a little bit of a move as well. I'm watching Ethereum very closely on the short time frames as well. So I'm looking at it on the shorter term time frames. The RSI on the hourly looking good. If it gets above this resistance here, this kind of resistance block that I've outlined, Ethereum's probably going to run very, very strongly. Okay, so it's still kind of below resistance, so it's not necessarily broken out yet. But if we see Ethereum kind of go above here, maybe flip the resistance for support, we're going to be seeing some nice runs on Ethereum. So that's very good for altcoins. We know how horrible Ethereum's been this cycle, but if it can just get to, $4,000, $6,000, something like that, it'll be great for altcoins, especially like base altcoins. Aerodrome is a good one in my view. I gave the call for Aerodrome a few weeks ago, and since then it started really, really heading up. So, I was really, during the recent mini bear market we had, I was really researching coins like nonstop. I was going through the whole of the top 100, the whole of the top 200, making sure I thoroughly know every single project to the best of my ability. And I was looking at the charts as well. And this was one of them where I couldn't really understand exactly why it dumped so much other than just because Ethereum dumped. Okay. And when you see something like that, when you're scratching your head trying to figure out why did it dump so much, it's a good buy, fundamentally speaking. And I think Aerodrome is starting to break out here. We just got a buy signal flash on my indicator. Buy signal flash there on the daily. Last time it did that, last time we got a buy signal on the daily, we went all the way up to basically all-time highs. So I think that trade could happen again, guys. I really do. I think Aerodrome could be targeting these highs again on the next leg up, maybe even get above that and produce some really, really good gains. So congrats to the VIPs, stacking Arrow. And even if you're just on the channel, a regular subscriber, I've been talking about it. I didn't buy it previously. Never held it, but when you see certain coins on these types of dumps, you just scratch your head and think, how is it that low? I've got to pick some up, right? And I'm doing the exact same thing currently with Say. This thing is still super, super, super cheap. This is like a blue chip on a discount. And eventually it's going to wake up and pump. I've heard talks about ETFs coming to Say. Trump owns it in his World Liberty financial portfolio. It's extremely fast. It ties into DeFi. It's just got all the recipes to have a really good pump. So this would be another one on my radar that I'd probably be stacking right now. Would I be stacking up on Sui right now? Probably not. I mean, I'm already stacked. My average is around $1 or less. I'm in no rush to be buying currently. But I think there's some other options in the markets that present themselves as good buys. Like even Ondo, just beginning its next move up now. Still early days. So I would say, when you're looking at what to buy in the market currently, you want to be buying coins where they're not necessarily almost at their all-time highs like Sui. I mean, Sui's just exploded. So if you're buying it now, yeah, maybe there's a 5x left in the tank, but you're not going to be getting like a 10, 20x on Sui. Something like Ondo, however, or Say, it's still kind of early days. They haven't had their major breakout yet. They're in the process of doing so. It's in the process of breaking out. You can see the RSIs in the process of breaking out, basically breaking out right now. getting above those moving averages. Yeah, things are looking good, guys. Things are looking good. As long as the macro can hold and nothing really bad happens in the macroeconomic side, I think we are set for that final run that I've been talking about for a while. That final run, that final pump. When will it top out? Who knows? I mean, no one knows truly the day it will be. Could it be in June? Possibly. You know, I've been talking about a Q2 top for a while. Could it be in July and just stretch it into Q3? Possibly. You know, I'm really looking at the price action more so than the time. Okay. I'm putting more of an emphasis and more of a focus on actual technicals and price rather than time-based cyclical theories, okay? Because a lot of that's already gone out the window this cycle. We already had Bitcoin make an all-time high like 9 months before we expected. We've had Ethereum be completely quiet in Q1 when everyone expected it to wake up. So the cyclical theory and everything that you've already had with conventional wisdom, everything you've already believed with conventional wisdom, it's all out of the window this cycle. It's completely up in the air. So the best thing you can do is just follow the charts and let them guide you, right? Rather than you having a presupposition and thinking, I know best, let the charts guide you. You don't guide the charts, if that makes sense. So that's how I'm operating right now. I'm putting 80% of my trust in the charts, 20% maybe into the macroeconomics and the sentiment. But I'm really focusing on the charts because everything else is out the window pretty much. The macro, uncertain. Crypto cycle theory is uncertain. Like everything else, it's all already somewhat disproven and already surprised us and caused upsets. But the charts don't really lie. So that's where I'm putting my focus. And that's what we're talking about in the VIP every day on the voice chats. We're talking about the charts. We're obviously looking at other things. And I still have some degree of belief in the cyclical theory. Like I think it's somewhat valid, but it's kind of diminishing in its significance. And it has been for over a year because of what crypto has done. I mean, we've had multiple deviations away from the standard cycle. How many X's on Kaspa with the fibs, bro? Let's take a look at Kaspa. So it's very difficult to know truly because, you know, Kaspa has been pretty weird with price action lately. But if we look at the fibs, you know, the first target would be around 30 cents. That would be like the first target. You know, that could be like your first take profit region, 30 cents, you know, take some out there. Then if we get past that, maybe your next target could be like 46 cents. So basically 50. So you want to be DCAing out. You want to be like staggering your exit. So maybe take some out at 30 cents, take some out at 50 cents. Then you're looking at maybe 62, right? So it's a big range you're going to get. I would say Kaspa could realistically top out anywhere between 30 cents to $1. If I had to narrow it down, I'd be looking more at like maybe like 75 cents as like a really good level to hit. If we can get to that, then I think, you know, I would have sold a lot because my average on Kaspa is 4 cents. So if we can get to 75, yeah, I'm up almost 20x if I'm doing the math correct. So, you know, if my average is 4 cents, so 20x would be 80 cents. Therefore, 75 is just less than 20x. I personally would be heavily out, right? But you do you. If you don't want to take profits, that's completely up to you. I'm never going to compel anyone to do anything. But one thing I will say is it doesn't matter what I think Kaspa will go to or what I want Kaspa to go to. The charts don't care about your feelings, okay? People need to realize this. The market doesn't owe you anything. It doesn't owe you anything. It doesn't owe you $1 million. It doesn't owe you $500,000. It doesn't owe you a penny, okay? The market will do what it's going to do. And if that's Kaspa only going to 50 cents and disappointing 90% of people, then that's going to be that. If that's Kaspa going to $1.50 and doing amazing, then it's going to do that, right? It depends on the macro. It doesn't depend just based on what we believe will happen or what we want to happen or what we feel good about, okay? people quite often rationalize their price prediction based on what they feel good about. Oh, I'll feel good if Kaspa hits $2. Therefore, my price prediction is $2. Really, what you should do is change the term price prediction to what I hope it will hit. Don't say this is my price prediction. Say, I hope Kaspa will go to $2, because that's what most people are doing. It's like hopium TA, right? I honestly don't know. It could hit 50, could hit 75, it could hit $1. But I will largely derive my profit taking on Kaspa from Bitcoin. And if I think Bitcoin has topped out, Kaspa will probably be topping out somewhat close to Bitcoin. So you don't need to overcomplicate it too much with all these individual altcoins. Altcoins generally top out very close to Bitcoin. Generally. Okay, there's some deviations, but usually they top out within a week, couple weeks, or sometimes even on the day of Bitcoin topping out. Funnily enough, Bitcoin made a local top on January 20th, which was the election day. So many altcoins on the election day made a local top. That's not coincidental, okay? That is happening for a reason, because Bitcoin is the granddaddy that moves everything, even Kaspa, even Ethereum, everything. So Kaspa, fundamentally, I'll say it again, it's the best crypto in the game, fundamentally. It deserves a market cap way higher than what it has. Kaspa deserves to be at $5, realistically. But again, that's not always how it works. The market can remain very irrational. What's the saying? The market can remain irrational as long as you can remain solvent. That's the saying, and it's very true. And you know, someone gave a really, really interesting take based on my tweet I put out earlier on Kaspa. So my post, just so you know, was Kaspa deserves a $100 billion market cap. I don't know why there's an M. I made some typo. Unfortunately, crypto is very irrational with its valuations. And, you know, it's very true. Shiba Inu, Dogecoin going to 50 to 100 billion market caps. Very stupid, right? But it happens. It's crypto. So that's how it works. And then someone came and put this comment. They made two interesting comments, okay? I'm going to read them both out because it's very important context. Are Apple phones 3 times better than Samsung? Of course not. Then why are they 3 times more expensive? The answer is marketing. Okay, that's the first point. Marketing is largely what derives valuations quite often. Okay, it's not always the objective reality of the fundamentals. And then he goes on to talk about Tesla, a car company which sells cars which are ugly AF, right? Now, that's somewhat subjective. Some people may like them. I'm kind of indifferent. Worse than Mercedes, Audi, BMW, even Alfa Romeo in everything with the same price or higher. And is the top 5 most important company in the world. Valuations mostly depend on marketing. Kaspa has horrible marketing. So I agree with the sentiment, right? But at the end of the day, Bitcoin has 0 marketing. Look where Bitcoin got. Bitcoin, there was no marketing team for Bitcoin. Look where Bitcoin got. And you could say, well, you're just using Bitcoin. You know, that's the exception to the rule. And that's a fair point. But there have been other coins which have done well. Monero, it still remains in the top 30. Okay, and it has been high in the past. So it's an interesting topic, right? It's an interesting topic. But Kaspa's strength is almost its weakness as well. You know, it's a double-edged sword being decentralized. The strength of Kaspa is that it is decentralized and they don't have a marketing team. That's why we all like Kaspa. But at the same time, that can be the double-edged sword when things aren't going well. So, you know, interesting sentiment, but I think at the end of the day, it's a quality project. It's going to do great. It's going to make a big comeback. And that's why I hold a ton of it, because I believe in it. I think say can 10x from here, 10 billion is not so crazy. I think so. Your 130K prediction as a top for Bitcoin coincides with the 1-1 time price chart. How does it look on a log scale? Where does your line sit on that? I'm not saying 130 definitively. What I'm really looking at is a range. So I'm saying kind of conservatively, we should hit this trend line. This trend line, which stretches all the way back to 2017, as predicted all the tops on Bitcoin. I'm saying we should hit that. But that top would only be 115. So that's pretty conservative. But then what you can also do is you can put on the fibs from last cycle to the bear market low. And you're okay. And then you're getting different fibs here, okay? You're getting the 2.618 at 157. It's possible we go this high, okay? It's possible. But I'm just more inclined to believe that it's going to be more conservative than that. I'm just more inclined to believe it's going to be more like 120K than 157. Look, it could happen. And there's a portion of my Bitcoin which I'm just going to hold for decades. Because, you know, everyone underestimates Bitcoin all the time. But I'm just more inclined to believe that we'll have a very quick bounce and it will be more like 2021 than it is like 2017. I think we have a macro higher high. And the pattern is really, really similar to 2021. I mean, obviously history doesn't repeat. But there's quite often huge similarities. And the place in which we found support here happened to be the exact same in which we found it in 2021, the Gaussian channel. So anything can happen, man. But, you know, you got to look at the similarities. And this looks very similar to last cycle, the way that we found support here. So, and that trend line's been playing out for almost 8 years? How many years ago is 2017? 8 years? Been playing out. So who knows, man? But I would be really, really inclined to take profits if we hit this trend line again. No, I'm not buying Mantra. I kind of have a rule where I don't buy coins where the charts look fundamentally broken, where they've had hacks, scams, whatever. Generally I don't buy coins where there's been a black swan event to that degree. I wouldn't buy Luna. I wouldn't buy Mantra. I just think once you do the damage to the sentiment to that degree, it can be pretty hard to come back sometimes. I'm not saying it won't, but I don't know enough about the coin anyway. But I've got Ondo for RWA. Just joined VIP. Love your content. What are your thoughts on memes like Pepe and Base Brett? Thank you. Appreciate the support, bro. And shout out to you for taking action and joining the VIP. You know, not too many people do that. So shout out to you for actually joining the group, taking action. And if anyone else is also interested in joining, use code SAVE20 at checkout. The discount will be going in 6 days' time. It will be gone. So take full advantage of the discount. Get yourselves in the group. I'm going to be doing a voice chat call after the live stream. We're going to be discussing everything about the markets, looking at the best altcoins, looking at exit strategy, everything. So make sure you're in the call. That will be around an hour after the stream ends. So you still have time to sign up and make it into the meeting. And you can share your opinions and ask me some questions. I'm looking forward to it. You know, I always prefer in-person conversation. Live streams, I feel like it's too much of like a lecture. I like conversations where you're actually speaking to people. And if they didn't quite understand something, they can literally ask me to explain it in a different way or whatever. So I much prefer that style of communication over live streams, but we do them anyway. But yeah, your question, memes. I think the top memes will probably make a comeback, especially the Boys Club ones and Fartcoin. Currently, I don't really have a big position, or I don't have any position in memes in my portfolio, just because I think there's too much of a great opportunity with some of the mid caps. When the mid caps are overbought, then maybe I'll look at some meme positions. But right now, there is such a great opportunity with some of the utility coins that I kind of shouldn't be skipping to the memes yet, you know? You go to the memes once everything good is overbought. Right now, there's a ton of good projects which are not overbought. They're still oversold. So until Say, until Peak, until Ondo, until Render, until they're all really high, I'm not going to be buying memes. I'm going to be focusing on those coins and stacking my bags on those. Once they get really high and really overbought and they're no longer attractive buys, then I'll be looking at the meme coin trades. But currently, I'm putting my focus on the quality. Yeah, Ondo's had a nice pump today, but 70% in Ondo and 30% Sui, you're really, really overexposed to Ondo, in my opinion. Both great projects. Sui is okay at 30%, but I wouldn't have any individual altcoin other than Bitcoin, which isn't an altcoin, above 30%. So I would diversify a bit more if I was you. And if you want some help, you can get on the VIP and we can discuss your portfolio. Or if you want to get on a call with me, then the bundle is a great option as well. But that's for... The bundle's not for everyone, okay? That's more for people who are aiming for 7 figures or higher, because you're basically paying for a personal mentor for life, where you can DM me and call me and all these different benefits. I'm not doing individual coin reviews today, my friend. 20 billion market cap for Kaspa is realistic. I agree. What does Kaspa provide that warrants your $5 statement? I never said it will go to $5. Maybe I said that years ago that it could go to $5. But $5 is not my target. My target is like $1 or lower. $5 is not my target. I don't know where you got that. Maybe you get me mixed up with another YouTuber. If you have 20K right now, which coins will you invest to make 100K? If you're just looking to make 100K with 20K, which is a 5x, I would buy Sui, I would buy Ondo, I would buy Render, Tau, and Kaspa. You know, because most of those should do a 5x, I think. Is it possible that Bitcoin will hit the 2.618, you mean? It's possible Bitcoin can hit the 2.618, okay? It is possible. I'm not going to say it's impossible, because it's not. There's a decent chance it could. But you just need the perfect storm, right? You need a lot of things to go your way for that to happen. Last cycle, we almost hit the 4.236. So last cycle, Bitcoin found a top between the 4.236 and the 3.618. Found a top somewhere between there. If you did it from, 2017 top to the following bear market bottom. If I'm doing it from the 2021 top to the 2022 bottom, the 2.618 is giving you 157. So it's possible. That would be like my bull case, to be honest. The only reason I'm kind of on the conservative side and I add some caution is because cyclically speaking, time isn't really on our side. The 4-year cycle is supposed to end in October for Bitcoin. Could we run into 2026? It's possible, but I think it's the unlikely scenario, personally. I think it's more likely that we top out to the left of October than we top out to the right of October. But that's just kind of personal gut instincts and what I've already seen this cycle. We've already had many things this cycle that would indicate an earlier top. Bitcoin hit 74K in March 2024. It shouldn't have done that, cyclically speaking. Bitcoin pumped really, really early because of the ETF run. It should have hit that 74K in like January this year, not March the year before, right? So we're already we were already very left-leaning this cycle. And then we did have these really interesting sideways boredom phases, which kind of made up for it. But even still, you know, the cracks are kind of in... The cracks in the cycle are already there, particularly with the altcoin cyclical theory, right? The whole money flow, altcoin dominance. I mean, Ethereum completely went against the traditional cycle that it normally follows. But yeah. I do think Ethereum is due a run, though. It's still lagging behind. But like I outlined on the chart, let me just pull it up on the 4-hour. Ethereum is currently trying to battle this, you could say, resistance here. I think ultimately by the end of the month, we get above this. It could even be by the end of the week. Could be today or tomorrow. The 1 hour on Ethereum, it's looking good. So we could have enough momentum to push up and get above this kind of resistance level that we rejected on yesterday. Look, memes can do well. Memes can certainly do well. It's just, is it the best allocation of your money when there's great utility coins on a huge discount? The difference in November 2024 was there weren't too many great utility coins on a discount. Loads of the utility coins already pumped. So you were kind of scavenging around and you didn't really have many options of utility. So you're kind of forced to buy memes as a result. But now there's a great deal of utility coins on discounts. Oh, you're talking about my statement of Kaspa deserves to be at $5. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want that to be taken out of context. So me saying Kaspa deserves to be at $5 does not mean I think it will go to $5 this cycle, right? What I'm saying is based on its fundamental value, if it was valued properly based on fundamentals, it would be a lot higher than what it is now. And I would say the same thing about Monero. Monero is great, but obviously it's not as high as it really deserves to be. I would say the same about Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin probably deserves to be at 500K right now, $1 million, but it doesn't mean that's my price target for it, right? Like with stocks, you could say all of the Mag 7 are overvalued, really. If you look at the price to earnings, you know, Tesla, a lot of these Mag 7 companies, you would say, yeah, they're overvalued based on their PE ratios. But who cares, right? Doesn't matter what you think. It's what the market does. The market does what it's going to do. And Tesla's been overvalued from a PE ratio point of view for years. But it just does its thing. It doesn't care. And that can work conversely as well with cryptos. But what I'm saying is the reason it deserves that value is based on its revolutionary tech, because the tech is the most revolutionary in crypto since probably Ethereum came out, right? That's what I'm using to determine the true value, right? But the true value it deserves isn't the value it's at. So there's no point dwelling on it. You know, that's just the reality. All right, guys, we're going to wrap up the stream here. I appreciate you all tuning in. When Lambo, potentially in a couple months, man. Potentially in a couple months. If alts go the right way, Ethereum breaks out, and we have the perfect storm, there's going to be big money to be made. So, guys, I appreciate you all being here. Really hope that you have a great rest of your Thursday. Check out the sale on the VIP group. Save 20. It's going to be going in 6 days' time. The sale will be gone. So make full use of it while it's available. Everyone seems to jump into the group when the markets pump. So I'm giving you this discount while things are still cheap. In a week or two, I imagine things will probably be higher and I will be removing the discount. Okay. So you'll have to pay a premium. So get in now while it's cheap. Use that discount code SAVE20. Also, if you're looking for somewhere to store your crypto, get yourselves a Tangem. This is what I personally use to store my crypto in. Use the code Archie, ARCHIE, at checkout, and you'll save yourself some money on the cold wallet that I use. And, you know, millions of people use as well, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't know the numbers, but it's one of the most used wallets in crypto. So go check it out. Appreciate you all watching. And for the VIP members and those who are joining today, I'll see you in the voice chat in about an hour's time. Okay? So I look forward to seeing you there. We'll discuss the markets. And any questions you have, you can come and bring them to me in person in the voice chat call. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.